Hi everyone, my name is Idris Muaz bin Mazlan, class of MRSM Typing, batch 2014-2015. Well, before we start on the career journey as a chef itself, let's start a little bit earlier than that about how it all actually started. So I was in typing in 2014 and 15. Now, as per any of you guys that is watching right now, I believe some of you guys really embark on the journey to go to MRSM Typing mainly because I want to pursue my dream to become an engineer or a doctor. Right, that was me also. But towards the end of 2014, 2015, I kind of realized that as much as I love the idea of becoming an engineer or a doctor, it doesn't suit my personality well because I'm kind of a people person. I like to engage with community and stuff like that. So I decided to, you know what, try my options and see what's available out there. Kid you not, 2014, I do not know how to cook or bake anything at all. But you know, they were kind of like, Idris, do you want to bake something? Like, yep, let me do that. Actually, I do not know anything, but you know what, sometimes you just have to take that leap of faith. So I kind of bake stuff for friends, bake stuff for birthday celebrations, cook dinner and stuff like that, just for fun. Sometimes it turns out good, sometimes it's okay, but it is because of that I kind of grew my love onto cooking itself and food in general. So yeah, at that particular moment of time, I decided, you know what, I'm not going to become an engineer or doctor anymore. I'm just going to become a chef. I'm going to cook food for life. That's all. Towards my 6th semester, I have to go for my internship, and then I went to KLCC Convention Center. Now, this again, everyone advised me to not do so, but you know, being the arrogant guy that I am, I'm gonna take that challenge up, I say to myself. So yeah, I kind of offered myself to the devil when I applied for KLCC, mainly because understand this, prior to any COVID situation, KLCC Convention Center hosts the biggest events in Malaysia itself. We're not talking about 300 packs, 600 packs. We're talking about 3,000, 6,000, up to an occasion that was 13,000 packs. And when we're talking about 6,000, 13,000 packs kind of thing, we're not talking about a brigade of 20 chefs behind that's managing this. We're talking about 6 people. 6 small tiny hands that's managing 6,000 packs. That's how. Usually the calculation, if I remember correctly, 1 chef to 500 guests. That's the calculation in KLCC Convention Center. So yeah, I was literally giving my neck out to the devil and be like, you know what, I'm gonna risk it all and learn. So I went there for 4 months, and I kid you not, now I can tell you that it was the best 4 months of my life because I learned a lot of things. After that, I ventured into this restaurant in Penang called Dandy Modern Food. It's a very casual restaurant. Good food, Mediterranean food. We have everything from mandi rice to grilled lambs, pizzas, burgers, steaks. So I started as a line cook, basically cooking rice, cooking pastas, doing preps and yada yada yada. I left that restaurant as a demi-chef. Demi-chef means half a chef, to be exact. So you're not actually a chef yet, but you are already halfway to becoming a chef. I left that restaurant at 2019, and then I made my way to KL. Mainly because I worked in Penang for about 2 years, a little bit over 2 years, and I kind of decided, you know what, I'm gonna go for something more challenging. So I kind of resigned, and then straightway threw myself to Kuala Lumpur, came to KL without any direction, and practically just went and knocked on doors in restaurants. So that's how I ended up in Table and Apron. I kind of bring my knife bag, knock on the door, and get like, hey guys, are you guys hiring? So I get to Table and Apron, spent 2 years, and that's where I am now. From a demi-chef, I started as a part-time at Table and Apron. A couple months into it, they gave me a demi-chef. A couple months into that, they gave me a CDP, which is what I am until this very day, chef de partie, which means I am the one that is leading the team in the kitchen right now. That's basically, it sums up my career journey till today. We as a chef, we really usually needs to come in at about 9:30 in the morning to do all our preps and stuff. But as a chef, okay, those are the commis, right? The line cooks, they need to come about 9:30 just to do preps. But as a chef, as a CDP onwards, usually I will be going into the restaurant at 8 o'clock. And sometimes it's straight away to the restaurant, sometimes I need to go somewhere in KL just to pick up ingredients. Somewhere it's to the market, TTDI market. Sometimes there's even an occasion I have to leave the house at 5 o'clock in the morning just to go to Sekinchan to pick up that fresh seafood for our beloved customers. I drive there 5 o'clock in the morning to Sekinchan, as early as 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, pick up seafoods, drive back to the restaurant at about 8 o'clock, just in time for me to start my prep. You know, so 8 o'clock you go into the restaurant, you start organizing stuff first, you know, check your pre-order list, you know, what is it, any dietary requirements, any special occasions on that day, any special remarks, you know, anniversaries, wedding celebrations, birthday celebrations, just see so that you can prepare more for them, maybe give an extra cake or something like that. You go through the pre-order list early in the morning, you check out on all your team members, you know, you go and check out all the kitchen equipments and stuff like that. At about 8:30, 9 o'clock, you start doing your prep. So you lay down your chopping boards, lay down all your knives, you start doing your prep based on whatever list or preparation list that you have on that day. Service starts at about 11 o'clock, which means that at 10:30 the kitchen is going to be starting to start to cook stuff. So 10:30 we start cooking stuff, and then cook and cook. At lunch service, usually there's what we call a turnover. So it's always 11 o'clock to 12:30, and then 12:30 to 1 o'clock. Sorry, 12:30 to 1:30, and then 1:30 to 2:30. That's the turn. So there's like waves of customers that's coming in. Lunch service done, and then 2:30 we clean down all our kitchen. 3 o'clock we check all our ingredients list, and then we refill them back up, just in time for dinner. So 4:30 we have our team break. We go and have dinner together at this communal table that we usually have in the middle of the restaurant. We will combine all the tables, put all the food in on the same length, and then we will have this communal table that we eat and joke around. And then dinner service starts at 5 o'clock, which means 4:30 we're going to be starting, 4:45, 5 o'clock we start cooking stuff, up until 9:30. 9:30 we clean everything down, scrub everything out, and then by about 10:30 or 11 o'clock midnight, we're going to have that last post-serving meeting that we call it, just to go through anything that we missed out during the day, any mistakes, anything that we need to improve for the next day, and then any special requests for the next day. And then usually on a normal day we will be going back at about 11:15. On a busy day, well yesterday we went back at about 1 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, that's about it. That's about the daily life as a chef. Skills required, I guess. When you work in the kitchen, one thing that's beautiful about the kitchen is that as long as you're a decent human being, you do not need to actually have like super awesome knife skills or, you know, not deep knowledge about food and stuff like that. Heck, I have team members in the kitchen that comes from different background. You know, some of them comes from marketing, some of them come from accounts, some of them did medic halfway through, and they go like, you know what, I'm not gonna study this anymore, I'm just gonna become a chef. You're like, you know what, everyone is welcome as you are able to communicate, right? As long as you can get the message go through clear, and you're a decent human being, that's all that is needed to become a chef, right? All the technical stuff definitely you can learn, because when you step into the kitchen, it's always hands-on stuff. I ask you to cut, definitely you're going to be making a few mistakes here and then, but you'll definitely get it along the way, because that's going to be the same thing that you're going to be repeating for the rest of your life. So it's impossible for you to not be able to learn. So no worries about skills or stuff like that, you'll get it along the way. So yeah, just be a decent human being, then you'll become a chef. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the boring stuff about the chef, I guess. For those out there that has this idea that if you go into cooking, you're not going to do anything science now, let me debunk that myth. Because if you go into culinary arts and if you really want to become a chef, physics, chemistry and biology is gonna be the best card that you can leverage on if you are able to do it. I tell you not, you're gonna be working with animals. Anatomy 101 is gonna be your fundamental skills. You need to know how the chicken bone structure is, you need to know how a salmon's bone structure is, you need to know, which part of the meat is red, which part of the meat is white and stuff like, tendons, ligaments, all these things. For those out there that's a biology geek, cooking is very interesting. For those out there that's in love with physics and chemistry, everything that's related to heat and material, bro, physics has it covered. You turn it into this kind of temperature, it's going to affect your protein structure this way. You turn it into this kind of temperature, it's going to affect your protein structure this way. You use copper pots, material, talking about physics, material, you use copper pots, it's going to cook like this. You use cast iron, it's going to cook like this. Different outcomes, same, just different materials. Physics geeks out there, this is for you. And for the chemistry guys out there, I tell you not, just talking about salt and sugar. curing effects of stuff, brining effects on stuff hits along. You use table salt, it's gonna come out like this. You use sea salt, it's gonna come out like this. You use pink salt, curing salt. All these are different types of salt that's definitely gonna affect food one way or another. And I tell you not, it's damn interesting. I'm not supposed to use that word, but that's how interesting it is. So for you guys out there that's really a science geek and think that if I go into cooking, I'm not gonna learn anything science now. I'm here to justify that that is not the truth. You need to really learn science to really be in love with cooking. If you go into food F&B industry in Malaysia, specifically as a chef, sleep is the first thing that you will not get enough of. Now, I told you just now, start your shift at 8 o'clock, you go back at 1 o'clock in the morning, bro. That's just your chef life of the part. I'm not talking yet about house chores. I'm not talking about taking care of your house, taking care of your car, stuff, all other small business, meeting up with friends. Now imagine slotting all those time into it. Bro, you don't have enough time to rest, okay? That's one part of it, I guess. The other downside part of it is that when you work in a kitchen, right, it's a very stressful situation. And when it comes to cooking, right, you can start. I mean, like, the first ticket comes up, you start cooking, right? You have this thing planned out. You want to cook this pasta, and then the next minute you're gonna cook this, and then suddenly the next ticket come up. And when the next ticket come up, you cannot stick to your plan. You need to adjust, because that timeline and the first ticket timeline, the second ticket timeline is gonna go together. It's gonna be combined. So whatever plan you have in your mind is erased. Come out with a new plan. So that is what happens every single time a new ticket comes up in the kitchen. A new ticket comes up, erase, new plan, erase, new plan, erase, new plan. And that is super stressful, not because of the fact that it's already stressful because the kitchen itself is labor intensive. You need to cut, standing up, tossing pans, carrying stuff. It's already labor intensive. Physically, you are already tired. But when it comes to service, imagine having to come up with a new plan every time a ticket comes up. That is also mentally exhausting. Pros about becoming a chef? Bro, good food for free every single time, every single day, whatever it is that you want. I tell you, if I were not to become a chef, I would be broke by now just by trying all of the stuff. Luckily enough, I'm a chef. I can go and try steaks for free, I can try expensive fish for free. Yeah, that's one of the perks, definitely. The other perks is restaurant privileges. I call it restaurant privileges. Basically, when you come into the chef industry, becoming chef at F&B industry, you can get to know people, friend around, right? A chef from this restaurant is your friend, chef from that restaurant is your friend. So occasionally, if you go and dine in at all the other places, right, when you meet your friends, right, these chefs, sometimes, one thing I like about chefs is that they are arrogant. So when you go visit a friend at their place, because of their arrogance, they want to show off and they give you free food to try out. They usually say, oh, this is on the house, but this is just showing off stuff. Like, yeah, try my food, it's the best. And then in a kind way, it's like, yeah, this is free stuff for you. If I have to name, right, one reason that keeps me going or keeps me, running back to the kitchen every now and then, is that sense of fulfillment that gets you every single time you finish a shift. Now, when I say sense of fulfillment, right, it's always this fire. In the kitchen, we always refer to this as a fire. It's the fire that's in ourselves now. Now, I know I'm talking just as a chef, but I believe this same fire that we call passion is needed in any form of career that you go into. So I'm as a chef, obviously, I'm going to talk about the chef. That sense of fulfillment, right, it's not something that you receive by numbers, by pay at the end of the month. It's not the tip money that you receive from customers, no. It's not the amount of sales that you'll be able to generate on your restaurant. No, those kind of things are just numbers. That, yes, I would definitely agree. It does give you that sense of, pride a bit. At the end of the day, you're like, wow, I cook food and serve people and it got the restaurant sales up to 18, 20,000. I'm happy, my food is good. Yes, it does give you that bit of pride and to your life, but ultimately it's always that motivation, that passion in which you continue cooking good food for good people. I've been working in the industry for 4 years plus minus, right? 4 years plus minus, and it does not happen often. Once a year, maybe twice a year max, but there are occasions that people eat. I remember the first time I saw this reaction. It was in my first restaurant back in Pulau Pinang. I prepared this lamb dish for this gentleman. It was a family, it wasn't nobody actually. It was a family, a husband, a wife and 2 kids, that's all. They ordered lamb dish with rice. I served that. I prepared that lamb myself. I served it to him. Now I kid you not, this was his reaction. He took that bite, he looked at the lamb, he put it in his mouth, he put the fork down, and his next reaction made my day. He made my whole career decision worth it. He put that lamb in his mouth, he chewed a couple times, and this was what he did. Bro, I tell you not, that small dance made my whole decision making of becoming a chef worth it. I tell you, there was times that I doubt, like, am I making the right decision? But that dance, bro, that hits it right on the spot. It really gives that sense of fulfillment. It really feeds your pride and joy, you know. It really makes you realize, you know what? The whole reason I become a chef is not so much about the fame and fortune. It's not about, you know, flexing to my friends that I can cook. It's not about the pay that I'm gonna receive now. It's a matter of, you know, making someone happy, making someone smile, making someone's day a little bit brighter just by serving that single food that they ordered. That's the single most beautiful part of cooking. You know, when you really put that effort and you really make someone's day. Because at the end of the day, if I can get that one single person to dance like that after he or she eats my food, bro, I can cook for you for the rest of my life and I'm gonna be happy about it. That's it, I guess.